Hello and welcome to my newest video. Today we will take a look at the early industrialization of Finland. The Duchy of Finland was given autonomy, meaning they would be allowed to make own decisions apart from Russia. The Tsar was still the leader of Finland and had the final say. The Finnish parliament was built of Finns, apart from the general governor who represented the Russian Tsar. Autonomy gave Finland the power to decide on almost anything. Some things were out of the choice though, like wars and foreign affairs. These were saved for the Tsar to decide on. Taxes that were collected in Finland remained in Finland instead of going to the Tsar. This meant that Finland had some money to spend on things they wanted and they made a budget. Also, the Finnish language became the official language of Finland. Even though Finland was part of Russia now, they were not the same with Russians. For example, Finns were Lutherans and Russians were not. Swedish was still also the second official language and Russia was not spoken. Most laws were also from Sweden instead of Russia. The Russian Tsar tried to get rid of the Swedish heritage, but with no success. Finland was mostly inhabited by poor farmers. People lived far away from each other compared to other European nations. Famine was common as the climate was harsh for farming. During the famine in 1866 to 1868, it was estimated that around 10% of the Finnish population died. It started to get more common to have livestock instead of wheat as the price of wheat was going down and livestock were more profitable. People also started using machines to aid at the field. Together these ended the famine. As people started having more wealth, they got machines to aid with work. This led into many less fortunate people losing their jobs, sending them into a spiral of death. Machines in Europe needed wood, which Finland had a lot of. Finnish people cut down forests and exported the wood to make a fortune. Trading also got more and more popular. Most people made their living with farming and livestock though. In the 1850s, the Finnish economy had some changes. In 1860, Finland would get its very own currency, the Finnish mark. Liberalism was at its highest and everyone was allowed to create their company. This led into many factories being created and new types of jobs for the people. 1862, Finland got its first railroad. It was between the capital of Helsinki and the city of Hämeenlinna. Before 1857, you were not allowed to build sawmills as the government was afraid that they would run out of wood. This was changed though and even more companies were made. People who owned forests got even richer, making the gap between rich and poor even larger. Finland would produce all kinds of things from wood, from logs to paper and everything in between. Finland was pretty conservative when it came to decision making. There were no new laws made and barely any reformation. As Alexander II, the new Tsar of Russia, rose to power, he made some changes to Russia that affected Finland as well. 1863, the Tsar calls together all of his people, including Finns. The power was no longer only at the hands of the very few officials, but the people. Though about 70% of Finns did not have the rights to have anything to say in politics, as it was only for the wealthy and successful. It was made that local municipalities could choose some of their own stuff instead of the capital Helsinki deciding everything. This is how Finland works on the modern day as well. With municipalities having some power, it was a lot faster for local stuff to change, and this was a good thing. There were schools created along with new cities. Originally, it was the church's job to educate people, but this was changed and now municipalities were in charge of education. At the beginning, schools were not in favor of municipalities as they were seen as a waste of tax money. It was also common for a child to stay home working instead of going to school. As industrialization reached Finland, its rank system of nobles, priests, merchants and peasants was about to change. It no longer was important of who you were born, it became more important to build yourself over time. Even a rankless person could rise to wealth if they got lucky. The rank system ended and was replaced by the class system. These were three main classes. The upper class was formed by nobles and the richest merchants. Middle class was merchants, peasants, and officials. The lower class were the rest of the people, like workers. Unlike with the rank system, your class could change in your lifetime. The people started getting more politically active, creating unions and clubs. People were getting more educated as well. People had more free time than ever before as machines made working a lot quicker. For this free time, there were lots of clubs to spend time in. For example, sports clubs were born. Also, at around this time, the voluntary fire departments were born, as many cities did not have a paid fire department yet. There were some political parties that devoted their time for equality. Equality between men and women. Equality between rich and poor. Women were often not allowed to study as it was seen as a waste of time for a woman. 1899, the first political party for the workers was born. It still operates under the name of Finnish Social Democrats. People were no longer serving a king, but a citizen of a nation.